Alright lads, so in less than 12 hours time, we are going to get our final mid-month banner of the year for 2024. And in this case, it's a new Christmas Little Toto and also Grammy. And I'll say this right from the get-go, I am a fan of both of these units. I think they're actually really good for what they want to be used in. They're both great additions to the game. And for mid-month standards, because again, these are mid-month units, right? They aren't supposed to be as good as end-of-month characters, technically. But they do have some cool things about them that make them unique and in a way stand out, even when compared to end-of-month units. What exactly makes them unique? We'll talk about that in just a minute. So first up, remember, the banner itself is available tomorrow and will be here until the 31st. What this does mean, obviously, is that we will know what the end-of-year banner is going to be on the 27th while this banner is still out. So if you are tempted to summon on this banner, even to do the discounts, if you are low on orbs and you know whatever you spend here is less orbs spent on the end-of-year banner, the best thing as always to do is to wait. That's the benefit with mid-month banners like this, since the second they leave is when the new banner does start. On the 27th, during the Bunker Live, we will know the 3 new characters. On the 28th, a day later, while this banner again is still out, we will know the full information regarding the characters and also the banner fillers. So unless you're a massive Grammy fan and Little Toto fan, there's no real reason to summon on this banner day 1, unless you can afford to summon on this and still summon on the end of the year. Me, for example, I plan to do 3 multis on this banner, go to the guarantee step, and then save every extra orb for the end of the year, because I know with the 3 multis that I can do here, I will still be able to go to step 25, where I'm guaranteed the character of my choice on the end of year banner. So when you're making that decision whether you should summon, look at your orb count, maybe wait to see what end of year is first, and then you can make a better decision whether this banner is better for you or the end of year banner is better for you. Obviously, end of year is going to be a better banner overall. It will feature 3 new characters that are maybe going to introduce a new power creep, rival the 9th anniversary units, but maybe it'll be a character that you don't care about. Maybe you're a massive Little Toto fan, you're a massive Grammy fan. In that case, you gotta do what you gotta do, like you're already dead set on summoning. I've already seen comments in my reaction video to these characters that this is their end of year banner. And in that case, I'm happy for you, and hopefully you can get the characters you want. Having a look at the new characters though, first up we have Little Toto, making her first appearance in Brave Souls, this time as Santa's little helper. Little Toto is going to be a Technique Stun Ritter Killer Plus unit, and she overall is a character designed to be used in the melee Stun Ritter Guild Quest. The main standout with this unit here is that it's finally an additional character that we can use as a lead. Remember, Guild Quest teams in general want to be 1 SP unit and then 2 normal attack damage characters. And the melee Stun Ritter Guild Quest in particular has always lacked options. They started to get some new characters over the last month or 2, but their only viable good lead as a character was True Shikai Ichigo, who is still a great character that you can use over Little Toto. But if you don't have Ichigo, well, now you have a potential secondary character that you can use that will likely get very similar scores to Ichigo. And the reason for that is because of what she does offer. For starters, she has Frenzy +2, which does get increased to Frenzy 3 in Guild Quest, more melee damage, more killer effects. Upon inflicting a stat ailment, which of course she does have an increased chance to do so against any Quincy enemy, she will then get an 80% spiritual pressure boost. Alongside that, she will then do 60% more damage to those status afflicted enemies. 30% is coming from her soul trait, and the extra 30% is coming from the team party buff that increases all Quincy characters' damage output by 30% to any enemy that is inflicted by a status ailment. This is going to be really good, especially for her respective guild quest phase, where your best normal attack damage character is a Quincy character. That, of course, being Mask, Demasculine. This adds some good synergy between the 2 characters, as it will allow them to hit harder, but at the same time, Little Toto as a character also does provide some good support, which is now potentially needed in Nightmare Guild Quest, which is now a mainstay on Brave Souls, and we do have the extra ways where the enemies have poise, so having barriers is going to be really good, which she can offer as an EX, and since she can apply both Drain and Lacerate, she's likely to stay at full stamina, but also stop the enemies from using their strong attacks, allowing someone like Master Masculine to also stay at full stamina and maybe not even have their barrier removed. And it's probably worth mentioning too, it is quite noteworthy that Little Toto was given an EX attack, because remember, she is a mid-month unit. This is the first mid-month character to be given an EX attack. Someone like Bankai Rukia, a character that was hyped up for the entire year, a character that released during a massive celebration that was the anime season 3 broadcast, she didn't even get an EX attack, but Little Toto, a mid-month Christmas unit, did. Whether that's a good or a bad thing comes down to you, but it does just go to show how kind of really good she is to a certain extent as a mid-month unit. And personally, what I do like about this character is she was given long stride, making it a bit more enjoyable outside of guild quests. And you can even take it into arena, where she'll be also a really good unit if you do get her to level 10. Now, what is important to understand is how she is going to perform in guild quests. If you want the unit and you just want her because you like the character and you think she'll be a fun character, then summon for that. If you're mainly summoning for a meta standpoint, whether she'll be better than Ichigo, from the looks of it, if you have Ichigo at 1 out of 5 and Little Toto at 1 out of 5, she will be slightly better. Slightly better. Likewise, in a hypothetical situation, if you have both of them 5-5, Little Toto will again once more be slightly better. So keep in mind these numbers. If you currently have Ichigo 2-5 and you only pull one copy of Little Toto, likely Ichigo is still going to be the better lead. And even though, Little Toto can make someone like Master Marketing a tad bit better, the difference might not even be that noticeable. And one thing to keep in mind with Ichigo as well is that there is a chance, not guaranteed, we'll find out on the 28th, that he could be in the end of year banner. So what you could potentially end up doing if you jump into this banner day number 1 is summon for Little Toto with the idea that she'll be better than Ichigo. In terms of scores, she's not even going to clear that much faster. And then if Ichigo ends up being on the end of year banner and you pull on that banner, likely you might get duplicates of Ichigo, and at that point, Little Toto then does become redundant. Now, I'm not here to say Little Toto is a bad character. Clearly, as you can see here, on an equal transcendence level, she is better. But because Ichigo is about to be a year old, he's technically now going to become more available. So if you are pulling for the idea of making your guild quest scores better, I would say wait and see what end of year has to offer, mostly because Ichigo does have a chance to be seen as a filler in the upcoming end of year banner. Next up, we have Gremmy. Now, Gremmy, even though he is going to be your standard normal attack damage character designed once more for a guild quest, he does stand out a tad bit, and I'm very excited and curious to see how he is going to play out. But what exactly is that? We'll talk about that in a second. First up though, Gremmy wants to be used in the melee Soripa guild quest, and this is quite noteworthy because melee Soripa guild quest has been lacking new normal attack damage characters. Our last normal attack damage character came out like 4 years ago, so there is going to be a noticeable damage increase in scores if you do pull Gremmy, especially with the new guild quest update that we did get this week. There definitely now is more importance on normal attack damage characters because they can deal more damage since the enemy's defense stat is now lower. With that in mind, since he is a guild quest unit, he has the standard stuff that you expect with a normal attack damage character. In guild quest, he has Fly +2, more killer effect, more mini damage. His bruiser is at 105%. 70% of that comes from the skill, but 35% does come through the soul trait, making him a good link for your other NAD characters too in the heart attribute. He has some other great stuff too. He has the enhancer, he has the booster skill, so his booster lasts longer and he's getting more stats. But the most important part about Gremmy is the SA1 and SA3. For the first time ever, we have a boost character that doesn't have a boost on the SA2. Instead, it's now his SA1 and also 3. And depending on how this does play out, especially with how the AI does work, whether it will use the boost correctly in the correct order, what we are having here is a boost character that can infinitely stack a boost and keep your team at a higher stat increase. What I mean by that is specifically in the SA1. The SA1 in particular lasts 20 seconds and has a 20-second cooldown. So usually the meta in guild quests with a normal attack damage character like this is to give them recharge and maybe full stamina. That way they can stack their boost. Because in guild quests you always want a boost active. In Gremmy's case, you can just go full normal attack damage and still keep the boost active. It's worth noting, however, because the SA1 can be infinitely stacked without any recharge soul traits, it is a lower boost than usual. A SA2 team boost usually gives a 43% attack, focus, and defense increase with the booster skill. For Gremmy's case, it's only 23%, which for an SA1 I think is still good, especially with the fact that Nightmare and every guild quest in general has now seen a defense decrease. However, when we look at the SA3 in particular, when he decides to use his SA3, it will give your team a 52% attack, focus, and defense increase lasting 35 seconds. So sure, while this character will be able to infinitely stack a boost, albeit a lower boost, only 23%, there will be the times where he uses SA3 and you're then getting a 52% attack, focus, and defense increase. So there's a lot of potential with this unit being used in guild quests just to get crazy stat boosts, and honestly, depending how the AI is coded for him to hopefully use his boost correctly, he might even be a character you want to use in guild quests that he isn't supposed to be used in, with the idea just to get an infinite boost. And in some cases, for a small amount of time, a higher attack boost. And since he technically doesn't want to use any recharge soul traits, since his SA1 and 3 has a longer cooldown, it means he will also more so focus his normal attacks, because the worst part about a normal attack damage character in Guild Quest is that they waste a lot of time using strong attacks that obviously aren't doing any damage. Since you aren't using recharge on this character, he won't be spamming strong attacks. He will only use a strong attack like every 20 seconds basically, which means he has more time to focus and deal more damage with his normal attack string. And if we have a look at normal attack damage characters in the immediate Sorry Guild Quest, like I said, it's been a while since we received a new melee Sorry killer, and you'll see the difference here is night and day. Right now, one of your best characters to use is the Fierce Battle Byakuya, a character that came out at the start of 2021. And now with Gremmy, not only does he give your team the team boost, making your overall team better, not only can you potentially use him alongside Bazby, who technically right now is the best lead for the immediate Sorry Guild Quest. If you throw in the other Gremmy, the 9th anniversary one, he's giving buffs to both Bazby and also Gremmy. So they have that potential synergy going for them, but you'll see it, a 1 out of 5 Gremmy is basically 3 times better than any current normal attack damage character you can use for this particular phase. To be fair though, more often than not, people will just brute force their way through this quest with Unohana and also Ichigo. So with that in mind, you might not even need Gremmy, but if you do get him, he will definitely make your team better. But since we now have the extra waves, where the enemies themselves have a lot of HP, normal attack damage characters, like I said, do shine a bit more. And that's why I think Gremmy's going to come in real clutch against the enemies that have significantly more HP, like 100 million HP in Extra Wave 1, and then 120 million in Extra Wave 2. So despite Gremmy just being a normal attack damage character, I'm actually more impressed with Gremmy over Little Toto, because again, the immediate Sorry Guild Quest has been lacking just normal attack damage characters in general. And that's it for the 2 new characters, right? Gremmy, I think, is definitely an impressive normal attack damage character. I'm very curious to see, though, and we have to be careful, right? I would say maybe wait and see how he does perform in Guild Quest, because his AI can definitely ruin this character's potential. Because in Guild Quest, if his SA3 is instantly used, and then he uses his SA1, well, at that point, you're not even getting the 50% attack boost, you're only getting 20%. I think regardless, he's going to be a great addition to his particular Guild Quest phase, but he can definitely be a super crazy character, depending on the AI and whether they actually use the boost correctly, and also just not be dumb, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. So we have to wait and see how his AI is going to play out in Guild Quest, but regardless, he's still going to be a great knight character. Little Toto, I like that we are getting more support in the melee summer to Guild Quest. Ichigo, if you have him, you technically don't need Little Toto, and that's fine. The Guild Quest phase in particular does need more characters than just Ichigo, right? So even if Little Toto isn't a replacement for a character that you might not like using, I mean, Ichigo's still a great character regardless. It's just nice to know that we don't just need Ichigo for one Guild Quest phase. You have now an additional option. Whether you have Ichigo or Little Toto, they're both going to be great leads for their respective Guild Quest phase. Remember, if you're summoning for Little Toto with the idea that she is going to be better than Ichigo, I would say wait and see what end of year is first and foremost, because he could potentially be in that banner and you likely might get duplicates of him, therefore making Little Toto potentially redundant. In terms of the filler characters though, quickly going through them, it's just seasonal characters. Surprisingly, Orihime has returned once more. She was literally in our last Christmas banner for end of month. Not complaining though, because she is a great normal attack damage character with a team boost, SA2, and a tracking vortex, providing some pretty good crowd control. She wants to be used in the ranged Sword Guild Quest, and if you have access to Giselle, the best lead for the ranged Sword Guild Quest, she does make Orihime a lot better. Great to have, even if you already have her. A duplicate is never bad for Orihime. Momo is a droplet farmer. Use her to get droplets. Grimmjow is a Link Sword farmer. Use him to get 10 extra heart Link Sword potions. Nelio is the go-to team booster and normal attack damage character for the ranged Captain Guild Quest. Like I stated with Gremmy, normal attack damage characters with this new Guild Quest change have gotten better. Nelio's always been great. She's now getting better in my opinion for her respective Guild Quest phase. Byakuya is a Link Sword potion character. By using him as a soul trade, you can get 5 more potions on your already existing Link Sword characters. Orihime is a really good support, providing a team boost, barrier, and also status immunity for any Guild Quest phase that might need it. She technically is a character that you can use in any Guild Quest phase, and technically might be better now because every Guild Quest phase is going to have poised enemies from wave 4 onwards, and Orihime's barriers will give you that protection that you might need for your normal attack damage characters and yourself to stay at full stamina. Ruki is quite a mediocre SP character, nothing great about it in my opinion. Ichigo is a Link Sword farmer. Use him to get more Link Sword potions and droplets. Likewise, Yoruichi, use her to get more droplets and Link Sword potions. And then Grimmjow is a super Link Sword farmer. Use use him to get more super elixir potions and normal elixir potions. The filler pool besides Orihime and I guess Momo, maybe Nelliel too, nothing crazy, I will be honest. If you're missing some of these characters, it might give you more reason to pull on this banner if you want to get Little Toto and Grammy, but none of these characters here are really rare. If you're missing them now, you'll get plenty of opportunities to pull them in the future. I mean, until 2 weeks ago, I was missing Orihime and Momo, and that's the reason why I pulled on the end of month banner, and they're already back, so that just goes to show, if you're missing any of the fillers, likely you'll get them again sooner or later. In terms of Grammy and Little Toto's availability, remember, these are 1000 Bloodle units, so they are going to return in like 3 months' time, and then in 6 months' time, they should hopefully start to become fillers. So if you do skip this banner, because of course the end of year banner is coming up, there might be plenty of opportunities in the future to summon for them alongside new or better 1000 Bloodle units. I'm doing 3 multis like I already stated because I just like the characters, and if I get them, great. Grammy would definitely make my Guild Quest team better. If I don't, it's fine. I'm only doing 3 steps because if you have a look at the banner format, the first 2 steps are discounted and then the third step is a guaranteed 5-star. That again repeats all the way to step 9, where step 9 is the first step that doesn't offer a discount or a guarantee, and then step 10 is guaranteed either Grammy or Little Toto. It's always going to be 50-50, one or the other character. If you pull Little Toto on step 7, for example, step 10 will not guarantee you Grammy. It's always, no matter what, 50-50 Grammy or Little Toto. Once you do step 10 though, it will repeat all the way to step 20. So at most, if your idea is just to go until you get one of them, you're only gonna have to spend 2,000 orbs. If you go all the way to step 25, which I don't think anyone will do, you do get to pick either Grammy or Little Toto, guaranteed the character of your choice. So I don't think it's a bad banner in all honesty. You know, guaranteed step on step 10. You have 2 pretty cool, fun looking units. They're potentially the best in what they want to be used in for their respective Guild Quest phases. And they are limited, right? They are 1000 Blood War characters. But remember, even though they are 1000 Blood War, like I just said, because they are mid-month characters, they should appear as fillers in around 6 months time on other 1000 Blood War banners. No guarantee that happens, but that potentially does seem to be the trend, as that's how long it took for Esna and Byakuya, our first 1000 Blood War mid-month banner, to become fillers. Since the end of the year banner is coming up, I would recommend at least waiting to see what that is first before you decide to summon on this banner. But if you can afford to summon on this and end of year, then by all means do what you have to do. I myself will be doing 3 steps. Grammy, in my opinion, is definitely a character that will make your Guild Quest team better. Little Toto is a great addition for a Guild Quest that needs her, but if you have Ichigo, you technically don't need her from a meta standpoint. And that will be further so if Ichigo does end up being a filler on the end of year banner, which has a pretty decent chance of happening. Not guaranteed, but we'll see how it does play out. With that said though, that's the video for today. This might have been a longer than usual before you summon, but I think with these 2 characters, there's kind of a lot to talk about. And because they are Guild Quest units, it is important to understand who they're being compared to, how they're going to perform. And then again, there's also a lot of things you have to think about considering the fact that the end of year banner is literally 10 days away. At least the review is. In the comments below though, let me know your summon plan. I'm curious to know who plans to summon, how deep you plan to go. If you are summoning, good luck, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care and peace.